Welcome back to Burning Down the House. My name is Bethany, and in today's video, we're going to talk about how to respond to the silent treatment. But before we get into that, let's talk about what the silent treatment is and what it isn't. It happens to the best of us. Sometimes in the middle of an argument, we become so upset or overwhelmed that we completely shut down. Even the most civilized and well-adjusted person may feel like they're going to blow a fuse, so they decide to leave the conversation and regain their composure. And this is really not a bad idea for a few reasons. A, it prevents us from saying something we might regret later. And B, it keeps the situation from escalating unnecessarily. But taking a few minutes or even a few hours to calm down and diffuse the situation doesn't automatically equate to the silent treatment, especially if both parties explicitly state that they just need to retreat for a while. Then there's something called going no contact. You may have read articles or heard about going no contact with a toxic or narcissistic family member. While going no contact means exactly that, having no contact with the other person, the intent is different from the silent treatment. For a lot of people, going no contact is a last resort. For a long time, they weren't silent. They repeatedly tried to communicate with the other person and establish their boundaries, but the other person kept violating those boundaries. In this case, going no contact or cutting off all communication is a matter of self-preservation, not an attempt to manipulate the other person into meeting our demands. Again, the key word or theme running through this subject is intent. When the other person, be it a parent, a sibling, completely shuts you out and refuses to speak to you for days or even weeks at a time, their intent isn't to cool off, regroup, and resolve the issue. They're using the silent treatment as a means of control. They're trying to punish you into submission. When the intent is abusive, when their behavior demonstrates a pattern of manipulation, the silent treatment can leave you feeling worthless and helpless. Your toxic parent or sibling doesn't like the fact that you have your own opinion and that you've disagreed with them or challenged them. They want you to feel ostracized and humiliated, so you'll grovel for their approval. Before you know it, you end up apologizing to them again, even though you've done nothing wrong, just to get them to break their silence and acknowledge your existence. Now, in the event that we legitimately hurt the other person, of course, it's important that we offer a sincere apology. But more often than not, that's not the case, and they're just icing you out so you'll come crawling back. Depending on the severity of the situation, however, there are several strategies you can experiment with to prevent getting sucked back into this toxic cycle. Strategy 1. Implement the AAA. Acknowledge, ask, and allow. Acknowledge that the other person is in fact giving you the silent treatment by saying, "I notice you're not responding to me." Ask them to express their feelings to show that you want to understand where they're coming from. And then allow them to speak and express their feelings without jumping in, interrupting them, and trying to quickly solve the problem. If you normally have a healthy relationship with this person, the AAA tends to soften the situation and help open the lines of communication again. The other person doesn't feel attacked or accused, and it may just be that they need a little time and space before they're ready to open up. Strategy 2, offer a solution. Let the other person know that you don't want things to fester, and when they're in a better headspace, you'd like to schedule a time to reconnect and resolve the issue. However, if they continue to stonewall you or give you the cold shoulder, you're not responsible for their behavior. You've already demonstrated a willingness to communicate, maybe even offered a sincere apology, and now the onus is on them to change their behavior. Strategy 3, ignore it. Your toxic family member is looking for a reaction. They want you to feel guilty and desperate to communicate again. They're using the silent treatment as a form of emotional blackmail to get you to cave and comply with their demands. So again, if this is a cycle, if this is the same song and dance you've experienced before, ignore it. Go to a different room in the house. Go for a walk or meet up with a friend. Instead of feeling powerful and vindicated, your toxic family member's attempts at manipulation will backfire on them, and they'll learn pretty quickly that giving you the silent treatment is not going to get them their desired response. Strategy 4. State your boundaries and enforce them. Calmly but firmly state that you do not consider the silent treatment an acceptable form of conflict resolution and how you expect to be treated in future interactions. Sometimes it's just a matter of both parties being clear on what the other person's limits are and what they're particularly sensitive to. However, if they continue to violate your boundaries or refuse to speak to you, you may want to consider going no contact or ending the relationship. Remember, you are not responsible for the other person's immature behavior, and distancing yourself from this person may be the only way to protect your mental and emotional well-being. Whatever you do, don't do the following. Beg them to talk to you. Apologize only to get them to talk to you again. Continue to reason with them when they've shut down, or try to provoke them even further. Remember, when your family gives you the silent treatment, you are only in control of yourself and how you choose to respond. Depending on the quality and track record of your relationship, the silent treatment may just be a one-time reaction with a temporary sting. Or their repeated silence could be a blessing in disguise, providing a segue out of the relationship. Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. And the bottom line is, the silent treatment is both an unhealthy and unproductive means of communication that you don't have to put up with. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you found this content helpful. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button for future videos, and I'll see you next time.